This is a special meal that any man can make for their special lady. Welcome to Dishin It Up. My name is Chef Emmanuel, and today we have an exciting show for you. Today I'll be poaching salmon. So you might ask yourself, what is poaching, chef? So poaching is a culinary technique that is used for tender cuts of meat. So whenever you have like salmon, chicken breast, and you want a really healthy way to cook, you can go ahead and use poaching. All right, so today I really have a really nice piece of salmon. It's already clean, it has the skin on, and so what a better way to cook this salmon by poaching it. And so what I'm going to show you today is two poaching techniques. One is shallow poaching and the other will be deep poaching. So I will go through each one and explain how it is done. Like I said, we have a nice piece of salmon. So the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to cut the salmon into 8-ounce portion. All right, we're going to be doing shallow poaching and we're also going to be doing deep poaching. And just to go into a little depth, whenever you deep poach, you have to make a separate sauce. But when you shallow poach, you will see that the technique requires us to make the sauce right in the pan. So I'm just going to put these away. So I get my sheet pan. Whenever you cut your meat, first thing you want to do is get a parchment paper like that, fold it in half, lift up one half like that. Then go ahead and place your item on the sheet pan, nice and neat, and then you can use the other half and just cover it up and put it into the fridge. All right, so you don't have to waste no plastic wrap, so just use it, cover like that, and then you can go ahead and place it into the fridge. All right, get a wipe on the board. So now we're going to set up the liquid for the deep poach. Now we have our liquid for the deep poach, and like I say, deep poaching is used when you want to have larger cuts of meat. So you're going to need some onions. We're just going to put it in there. We're going to add some celery. We got some bay leaf, just a little 3 or 4 pieces of bay leaf, put it in there. Fresh aromatics. We're just going to put the whole parsley stem in there, right into that water. So imagine all of those flavors that you're going to get from the onions, the celery, the bay leaf. So you're going to create a nice solution for your deep poach. Now, whenever you're deep poaching, you don't want the water to boil, because if the water boils, you're going to tend to break up the item that's in the liquid. All right, so you just want a nice gentle poach. So when you're ready to drop your fish into the liquid, it's just going to be right there simmering and absorbing all of that really nice flavor that you're creating. This right here in culinary is what we call a quart bouillon. A quart bouillon is a flavorful liquid that is used for poaching. All right, so you can poach chicken, you can poach salmon, you can poach anything that is whole, like you can a whole chicken, a whole piece of salmon. But today I break it down just to show you how you can achieve the same results. All right, so we're also going to add to that just some lemon. All right, so I get my lemon. So all I'm going to do is just squeeze some lemon juice into that my liquid. I'm going to go ahead and drop it right in there. Squeeze and drop it right in there. And last but not least, of course, you need some salt. You just want to poach in a fresh liquid. You want a really nice seasoned liquid. All right, so there we have our quart bouillon. We're going to let this simmer for at least 10 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and take our salmon out and place it right into this liquid. All right, so make sure we get a good view at this so everybody can see what this looks like. All right, we're just going to cover that and let all those flavors come together for another 10 minutes. All right, so in the meantime, while we have our liquid, our quart bouillon simmering, we're going to go ahead and make the sauce for the deep poach. So I just want to show you how you can go ahead and crack the eggs for the hollandaise. There are 2 techniques that you can use. You can split the eggs in half like that and just use the shell and just gradually go from side to side until you get everything off. All right, so that's one way. The other way is you can just crack it into a bowl like that and just use your hands and just go ahead and clean it off. All right, so 2 ways you can go ahead and do it. Just keep changing it from side to side and then put it right in there. So now whenever you're making hollandaise, you know, it's just like making mayonnaise. So the same technique applied. What we call in culinary, it's called an emulsion sauce. An emulsion is when you take one item and suspend it into another. So when you look at the items that really creates an emulsion, we have like oil and vinegar, right? So normally oil and vinegar would not normally go together, but you can use techniques like whisking. You can use techniques like what else? Blending, and you can really force those two items together. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here. This is really what we call a scientific part of culinary. All right, so when you take in one item and you suspend it into another. So I have my jar with my vinegar. I'm just going to pour some olive oil in there just to show you what I'm doing. We have the vinegar and then we have the oil on top. So when I make hollandaise or when I make mayonnaise, this is the same technique that we're doing. We're actually taking two items that would not normally go together, but by forcing it, we actually now making it become one item. This is what I'm doing. I'm taking egg yolks and I'm taking now butter. I'm gonna now force those two together. So we're gonna use some onions. I'm gonna put a little garlic in there. Why not? All right, a little garlic. Of course, you need cracked pepper. Gonna put some pepper in there. So this liquid, we're gonna allow this to simmer. And once this has simmered, we're gonna go ahead and pour this over our egg yolks. Now we're gonna add some vinegar, all right? Put a little vinegar in there. Now, of course, we need some aromatics, all right? So let's get some aromatic, drop it in there. So if you see right over here, I get my water boiling from my hollandaise. So I'm just gonna put it to the side. I'm just gonna put this on, all right? All right, we're just gonna let that simmer. All right, so I get my reduction simmering for my hollandaise. I get my board set up, and I get my hot water ready. So this is gonna go on top of my pot of hot water. All right, so let's go into the next phase now. All right, so I get my fine chinois. I'm just gonna strain this. Strain that like that. All right, I get my ladle. I'll just add just a little teaspoon of hot water into there. So now I'm gonna whisk this. So once again, just to do a little recap so I don't lose you in this. I make my reduction. I pour my reduction over my egg yolks. My reduction has shallots, have garlic, have salt, have some aromatics in there. Now I'm gonna place this on my bowl like that, all right? So I'm just gonna transfer this over my stove. And the reason why you're doing this is because you're now making this safe to eat. Because when you're eating raw eggs, you don't want to make anyone sick. And so right now we're gonna be able to cook this by cooking this over a water bath and making this safe. Now I'm gonna get my melted butter. All right, so we're just gonna continue to whisk this. One hand with my whisk, one hand with my ladle. All right, and I'm actually in control of my whisk and in control of my ladle. Now we're gonna go ahead and season. We got a little salt. We got some pepper. Get some pepper and let's give that a whisk. Now you got squash, you got to squeeze some lemon in there. Get some lemon in there. Just to do a recap, we got our quart bouillon simmering for our salmon. We got our hollandaise ready to go. And so when we come back, we're gonna go into another phase of this nice culinary meal today. All right, so we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No, let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs.
Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
Welcome back. All right, so just to give you a little recap, we got our simmering liquid on. We already cut our fish. And now we're going to make the other part of the dish. We're going to make some couscous, all right? So sometimes you might ask, what is couscous? This is a North African grain made from semolina flour that is rolled, all right? And so how you cook this, I'm going to really show you the technique. This is not something that you cook like rice. You really got to make your liquid. So you make your nice flavorful liquid, and then when you finish, you go ahead and pour it over, all right? Let's take a little bit of olive oil just to put over the couscous like that. All right, I'm gonna get a bowl, pour that into the bowl. Then I'm gonna use my hands, all right? Just to make sure I rub that oil all over my couscous. I get my pan or on the side that's been heating. So then I'm gonna make my liquid so I can dress my couscous. All right, so just clean off my hands. All right, rest this aside. Now let's make our liquid for our couscous. Once again, whenever you're cooking these really kinds of dishes, sometimes you don't really always have to use rice. You can use things like couscous, quinoa. They are really much more nutritious, all right? We're just gonna put a little bit of oil into the pan. Just a little bit of oil. I'm gonna add my garlic. I'm gonna go ahead and add some nice purple onions. So just gonna stir that around. Now I'm gonna add some vegetables in there, all right? So this is gonna be my liquid for my couscous. I got some green zucchini. Saute. Place them back onto the stove. Let's get it really, just saute them lightly. Gonna season. Just a little pepper. Just gonna add a little dash of salt. Now for the secret ingredient, just a teaspoon of curry powder, just to give my couscous a really nice flavor. All right. So we're gonna put that curry powder in there and just let that fry out really, really good. Just a little more olive oil. All right. Just a little more olive oil. So continue to stir. So now I'm going to add some chicken stock. And just bring this to a boil, all right? Bring this to a boil. So we're going to turn my fire up so we're looking good. So we're going to just season slightly. Salt. Pepper. All right, bring my couscous back. All right, so semolina flour that is being rolled. And like I said, you don't want to really cook this like how you cook rice, where you put it in the pot and just let it cook right in the pot. This is something that you can cook right into the bowl, all right? So it don't really take long to cook. So just 2 to 3 minutes and she'll be swelled up, all right? So now I prepare one just to save time. Once you already pour the hot liquid over, this is how it looks, all right? The grains are swelled. Now you can go ahead and use your hands and just go ahead and loosen them up like that, all right? So now I'm going to go ahead and dress this, all right? Just put a little olive oil on this. I'm going to go ahead and add my purple onions into this. I'm going to season this and make this really taste good, all right? My green scallions. I get my parsley. I get my nice cranberries to give it really, really good flavor. So this is going to go with my poached salmon. So when you're working with a really nice light dish, it is always good to have a really light vegetable so everything blend together, nothing is overpowering, all right? So we don't want a light poached salmon and we go ahead and serve peas and rice with it, all right? So we don't want to do that. You agree with that? So don't go with no light poached salmon, peas and rice, or we go with light poached salmon, then we go ahead and try to serve mashed potato, all right? So keep it light, keep it healthy, keep it clean. All right, it's really looking good. All right, I'm just gonna put a little more olive oil on it. All right, so of course you need some lemon zest in there to give it that nice flavor. So I'm just gonna grate some in there. All right, so we're looking good. Give it a good shake. And then I'm gonna squeeze the lemon and put it right in there, all right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a final seasoning on my couscous. A little black pepper. Got some salt in there, all right? So just make sure I have no lumps in there. Use my hands and just really make sure that's good to go. Now let's do a recap. We got a nice couscous ready. We got a really poaching liquid ready to go for our deep poach. So when we come back, we're gonna go ahead and show you how to do poached salmon, and we're gonna go into that really rich flavor where we show you how to deep poach and shallow poach. All right, so we'll be right back after these messages.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better. Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
Welcome back. So now we're going to go into really deep waters for this segment. All right, so I need you to pay close attention. So we're going to set up our pan for our shallow poach. So just take my hands, take a little bit of butter, and just rub it right on the bottom of my pan like that. All right, we're going to set the pan up for shallow poaching. All right, a nice way to make a sauce right into the pan. So I'm putting down some nice shallots right in the pan like that. I'm going to go ahead and add some garlic. And like I say, with shallow poaching, you're going to make the sauce right into pan. Like we demonstrated earlier, deep poaching, you're going to make a separate sauce. And earlier on, we made the hollandaise sauce to go along with the poached salmon that is being deep poached. All right, so let me wipe my hands. I'm going to take down some mushrooms. Just put down some mushrooms like that. All right, so we're looking good. We're gonna go ahead and get some little sprig of parsley. Just a few, just drop them right in there. So all of these nice aromatics, we're gonna go ahead and make the sauce for our salmon right in the pan. So you can imagine how these gonna taste when all of that flavor from that salmon impart into this liquid. And then we're gonna go ahead and use that same liquid to really make a nice sauce. That's gonna taste really, really good to go along with our couscous. All right, so we're gonna set that aside. Gonna come right back to that. Now let me get out my salmon. All right, so this is the salmon that we cut earlier. We're just gonna go ahead and season lightly, each one with a little salt and pepper. All right, so just make sure my hands are dry. Whenever you season with salt, your hands have to be dry, because you don't want the salt to be the clump on your hands at no point in time. So make sure your hands is dry. So just go ahead with a little pepper. A little pepper. All right, so to get a little bit of garlic in there. Really light cooking technique, all right, but it's really rich and flavorful. All right, so I'm gonna use my hands and just rub that on like that. All right, so we're looking good. We're almost there. So I hope you get your glass of wine so you can, really enjoy how we're gonna plate this up. All right. And then also make sure you take notes so you can learn how to do this, especially those guys who want to impress their wife. Make sure you get your pen and paper, take some notes. All right, when your wife come home from work, you get a nice poached salmon with couscous, compliments of Manuelos. All right, so we're looking good. So now you notice we still have the skin on that side. We're just going to turn it over, and like I say, the skin is good because it really protects our protein. So when we pull it off, we can have a nice flavor going on in there. Just a little bit of salt and a little bit of that pepper. All right, now here we go. We get 6 pieces of fish. We're gonna deep poach 3 pieces, and we're gonna shallow poach 3 pieces. All right. So light and gentle, right into my liquid, my poaching liquid. 1 piece down. We're gonna put another piece down. All right, so looking good. And I saved the best for the last, all right? Because I don't want that wine flavor to be lost during any part of the cooking, all right? So we're just gonna cover that, each salmon with that wine like that. Let me just get a nice little stir going on. We get those salmon just simmering right into that nice liquid that we started early on in the show. So we're looking good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cover that. I got my stove down low. All right, so we're looking good. Now let's go back to our shallow poach. Now we're just gonna take our salmon, place it down on those bed of aromatics. Just like that. Just like that, all right, looking good. Put to the side. Now we're gonna cover this with the wine. Now one thing with shallow poach, now you don't really have to cover the item completely. You just need to be 3/4 the side of the salmon, all right? So just gonna put the wine on the side like that. Now, just get a wipe on my board. So we're looking good. We got our deep poach on. Now we're gonna set up the salmon. Now, because now when you look at this pan, you don't really want to go ahead and cook this like this. So you now have to cover this. All right. So let's go ahead and really make this beautiful so we can get a lot of flavors going on. So I'm gonna just drop some fresh aromatics on top of each one like that. Each one you're gonna drop some fresh aromatics. Now I'm gonna put a piece of a lemon slice on each one. 3 pieces of lemon slice. All right, so just drop it like that. Shallow poached liquid. So all that nice liquid, once that flavor from the salmon imparts into that cuisson. This is called a cuisson. It's a French terminology. It means the liquid left after poaching. All right. So that liquid after poaching is called a cuisson. So now I'm gonna cover my pan. All right. Because sometimes pans like this, it's hard to find a cover, right? So one technique is you can always get a parchment paper. I fold it in half like that. And I fold it in half again, right? Like that. Bring up the other part, just like you're making a little plane. When you're small, you make little planes or little that you fly around in the classroom, all right? So that's all I'm doing. So I'm gonna fold it in half like that, all right? So I'm then going to fold it up right up from the center. So this is my cover for my pan, all right? Because I don't want that steam. I don't want to lose that steam at no point in time, all right? So I'm going to put my finger in the center. I'm going to take that, put it right to the center like that, all right? I'm going to bend that back like this. I'm going to use my little scissors. I'm going to cut it like that. Put that to the side. Now I'm going to use this and because I want a little hole for me to check, so I can go to check my salmon. All right, so I'm going to open this up, and this is my nice cover for my pan. So I'm just going to put that over like that. All right, looking good. All right, so you see that shallow poach, right? Really simple cooking technique, but it has a lot of flavor and it's really healthy. And you don't have to worry about pan frying. You don't have to worry about deep frying. Those are good cooking techniques. But I really like shallow poach because it's a really easy technique, very simple, and you can get a really healthy meal at the end of the day. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and place it on the stove. All right, we don't want this to boil. We got our cover just to trap in our steam. So when you look at what's going on right here, in a really rich flavor dish, we get a shallow poach on. We also get a deep poach. Look at those salmon. They're really beautiful, just simmering in that water. All right. The water is not boiling, but the salmon is just lightly simmering in that water. You see that? Really rich flavor. So all that lemon, all those aromatics from the onions, from the celery, from the parsley, they're gonna just provide nice flavor. So when you come back, we're gonna go ahead and dish up our plate. All right, so really exciting. So don't go nowhere. Get yourself some champagne, some drinks, some water, and we'll be right back.
Hi, JBI. I so love your products. Your kidney beans, they are rich and authentic. I love the coconut taste. I love the coconut smell. I use it for my rice all the time. Every Sunday is my Sunday's product.
Guess what? This is all we use. We love the pigeon peas and coconut milk. We love the red kidney beans and coconut milk. Peas and rice, that's the only thing that we use. Thank you so much for being here.
I must say, out of the many products that they have, this has to be my favorite one. It's very refreshing and it would be my first choice of drink.
Try JBI.
Happy 30th anniversary, JBI.
Happy anniversary, JBI.
Congratulations, JBI, on your 30th anniversary of being in the Bahamas.
Happy 30th anniversary, JBI.
Thank you, Bahamas.
Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then, at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown, with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
All right, welcome back. We're really on the final stage of this wonderful dish, and so I hope you've been paying attention. So just to do a recap, first of all, I asked you to get your wine glass, so I have mine because this dish is so nice. So you need a little wine while I'm plating up so you can really enjoy this meal today. All right, so I got my wine, so I'm just gonna get a little swirl, then get a little sip. All right, tastes good. So let's do a recap. So this is our shallow poach. So if you look at it, we get a nice cuisine liquid that we're gonna use to make the sauce. All right, so we're just gonna remove that out of the liquid. All right, so nice and gentle. Rest it on a really clean platter like that. All right, so get my nice cuisine liquid left after poaching. So this is what I'm gonna make the nice sauce to go with this. So all I'm gonna do, just go ahead and strain that, put it right in there like that. All right, while my sauce is simmering, I'm gonna go ahead and plate up my deep poached salmon. All right, so we get a nice plate. We got a cup for our couscous. This is the couscous that we made earlier. I'm just gonna use a little bit. Just put it right in there like that. Brussels sprouts. I'm just gonna put a bed of those down on my plate like that. All right. Everything is nice and light because we got a really nice sauce going on. Just a little piece of fennel on top like that. We're just gonna turn the salmon over and just peel off that skin. You're gonna just rest that salmon right on top of my veggies like that. All right. So whenever they're ready to eat, they can just dip right into that nice hollandaise sauce. Just a little bit of microgreens like that. And of course, you need some lemon to finish the dish. All right, so now we're gonna just make the sauce for our shallow poach. Just gonna add some heavy cream in there, just a little bit, all right? Just to create a sauce, all right? So just swirl that around. Now I'm gonna monter beurre. Monter beurre is a French term, mount with butter, all right? So just gonna go ahead and just swirl that around in there. So just give it a little nice little turn around like that, all right? Just until all the butter resolves. While I let it simmer, now we're gonna go ahead and put down our couscous. This one we're just gonna go ahead and spoon right down like that, right into the center. We're gonna go ahead with our cherry tomatoes again. We're just gonna put them on one side of the plate. Got our Brussels sprout, just one side of the plate like that. It's all about the presentation when you're cooking, right? It's all about, sometimes you'll wonder, chef, which is important, presentation or flavor? In culinary, it's always flavor, all right? So some chefs, they like to work on presentation. They spend a lot of time finessing the food, but at the end of the day, if the customer doesn't like it, then they would not enjoy it. So all that time that you spend presenting the food goes down the drain, all right? So always focus on flavor first, and then you worry about presentation. Now I put my little asparagus on top, and I got my fennel right there. You see, I'm doing bad with presentation, but I guarantee you, my flavors are just as good, all right? My flavors are just as good. Now I take my salmon and put it right there. I just want you to see it, just a little bit of that couscous showing. So that looks good. Now I get my sauce on the fire. It's a French technique called nappe. When you see it coat the spoon, then you know the sauce is ready, okay? It's called nappe. It means to coat the spoon, so you see? So now I know my sauce is ready. Now I'm just gonna finish it with lemon. Just a nice little piece of lemon in there. Give it a nice swirl around, all right? We're looking good. Now I'm just gonna take this and marry right over my salmon. Nice and light dish. It's not overpowering, it's not fried. All right, looking good. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just finish it with a little microgreens, all right? So once again, the show today has been brought to you by Bahamas Scriping Group of Companies and Simplify Lending. So until next time, I'm Chef Manny on Dishin It Up.